The Villanova boys are back together.
How were you able to break down the paint yet again here?
It must be a Villanova thing.
It already seemed impossible for Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, and Josh Hart to reunite in the pros, and now the Knicks have traded for Mikal Bridges. The New York Knicks are the only team crazy enough to do something like this. Was the trade a good move? We'll get to that in a second, because the important thing is, the boys are back. The Villanova Wildcats won 2 titles in 3 seasons, beating North Carolina in 2016 on this shot.
They go length of the court with Arcidiacono. 3 seconds at midcourt. Jenkins gives it to Jenkins for the championship. The national champions.
And Michigan in a way more boring 2018 blowout. Hart was on the first team, and then Bridges, Jalen, and Dante were all on both. Can they win a title in the big leagues? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. What they did in college was special. Each of them contributed in their own ways. Brunson was the 2018 Collegiate Player of the Year. DiVincenzo won Final Four Most Outstanding Player. Bridges and Hart won Big East Co-Defensive Player of the Year awards in 2017. On paper, this might be the most perfect roster the Knicks could have whipped up. Do you agree? Looking back at how the Villanova boys reunited in New York, it just makes sense. Jalen was bought low after a poor Western Conference Final series in Dallas. Once again, the Mavericks let go of a good point guard following a bad playoff exit, only for him to turn into an MVP candidate. Josh Hart was traded midseason 2023, a Swiss Army knife who can fit on any roster. DiVincenzo bounced around the league as a 28-minute-a-game 3-and-D guy. The Knicks bought pretty low, only for him to have a career year. He set the Knicks 3-point record and hit an NBA record 9 threes in a Game 7. When 3 of the 4 Villanova guys were on the same roster, with Mikal Bridges a few miles away in Brooklyn, everyone was hoping for this trade. Bridges was the main piece in the Nets KD trade, and it worked out better than Brooklyn could have imagined. On top of being one of the 3 best wing defenders in the league, who just did not miss games, he turned into a borderline elite scorer. Just good enough to fool you, not quite good enough to lead a team. A perfect trade candidate for future picks. And that's just what the Nets did. They sent Bridges over to Manhattan along with a 2026 second for an insane haul. Bojan Bogdanovic, plus first rounders in 2025, 27, 29, and 31, a pick swap in 28, top 4 protected 2025 first rounder via the Bucks, and a 2025 second. That is a lot of draft capital, but the Knicks completed their 3 goals. Complete the Villanova buddies, load up on 3-and-D guys, and get rid of Bojan's corpse. You might argue that the Knicks just mortgaged their future for one player, like the Suns did for KD. The difference is, Bridges might still be on the team when that 2031 first rounder even matters. Trading for young stars is never the wrong decision. As it stands, this would be the Knicks roster. Jalen Brunson and DiVincenzo as the starting backcourt. Bridges and Randle as the forwards, Mitchell Robinson at center, and OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and Miles McBride off the bench. But can they afford it? OG are about to test free agent waters, and it's pretty unlikely they can both come back after the Bridges trade. Since the league instituted a sort of hard cap, it's incredibly limiting to keep an expensive roster, using young, cheap talent to fill in around the edges. Who should they pick? OG fits more into Tibbs' style of defensive-minded forwards, especially considering Mitchell Robinson's injury history. It would be incredibly shocking if the Knicks stuck with OG. Although, this is the Knicks. They've been making shocking moves for decades. Speaking of Tibbs, how would Bridges fit into Tom Thibodeau's system? On paper, he's the exact player Tibbs would want. He plays hard, great defender, long and lanky, doesn't miss games. Bridges literally has not missed a game in his career, and he played 83 in 2023 just for good measure. He led the league in total minutes played in 2022 and 23, but would Tibbs overuse him? The Knicks were playing way too many minutes in last year's playoffs. Hart was putting up complete games like Wilt Chamberlain. Brunson was averaging 40 a game. Even OG was playing 36 minutes a night despite recovering from an injury. Add in that Julius Randle was hurt early in the season, and it's just another notch on Tibbs' resume of overuse to the point of injury. When Tibbs coached the Bulls, he earned a rep for never taking his players out and over-practicing them. Luol Deng led the league in minutes several times, and then his career abruptly ended. Joakim Noah was basically done after 9 years. Derrick Rose, well, you know what happened there. Do you think Tibbs is a problem, or did the Knicks make it as far as they did because of Tibbs? They looked incredible for the first round and a half of the playoffs, with Jalen looking like the greatest small point guard since Isaiah Thomas. But just like that, it ended, with half the roster injured and the Pacers outrunning them over 7 games. Does adding a guy like Mikal Bridges mean that won't happen again, or is this just another player who will be pushed to the point of exhaustion by a crazy coach? Let us know in the comments. What is certain is that the Knicks' chemistry is about to be off the charts. That was the joke, right? That the Knicks are about to contend for a title with the power of friendship. The thing is though, that team morale, trusting your teammates, and knowing where you fit matters in the NBA a heck of a lot more than talent. Just look at the Suns. 3 superstars who can score a lot of buckets on their own, but certainly aren't a real team. And they got bounced in the first round. Last year's Knicks team was the best since, 1999? And certainly the most liked since the Ewing era. Now they just added a top 35 player. A top tier second banana who was miscast as a leading man. But where does that leave Julius Randle? The Knicks had their best shot at a conference finals appearance in years, while Randle was on the bench injured. Maybe they were better off. Look, Randle is a great player who can score, rebound, and pass, among the best forwards in the league. But he also has 3 huge issues that hold him back. 3 issues that Bridges does not have. First off, the injury concern. Again, Bridges has never missed a game in his entire career. It's not like Randle is injury prone, but he is coming off shoulder surgery that limited him to 46 games last season. Now that he crossed 30 years old, will he come back the same? Second, the terrible body language. He shrugs off after not getting the shot, then doesn't get back on defense when they're down 1 point at the end of the game. Not the best time to do your best DeMarcus Cousins impersonation, bro. Seriously, this is the exact behavior that kept Cousins from being a Hall of Famer. The pouting, the screaming at the refs. But then Randle drops 50 and it's all forgiven? Are the Knicks better with Bridges as their second star, a steadier presence? They'd certainly be better in the playoffs. Because number 3, Randle sucks in the postseason. You can point at guys like Embiid and Harden who turn from an MVP to a second-tier superstar in important games, but Randle turns into a bench player. In his 2 playoff runs, he has averaged 17 points per game, down from 25 both seasons. And he has shot 34% from the floor in his playoff career. In 2021, when they embarrassingly lost to the Hawks, he shot under 30%. In Bridges' Phoenix days, his points went down in the playoffs, kind of as you'd expect from a 3rd or 4th best player, but his splits stayed high and his defense only got better. And then in a 5-game series with Brooklyn in 2023, he averaged 24 points per game, hitting 2.5 threes. Is Randle overrated, or are his flaws overblown because he's in New York? The truth is, the Knicks have found their second guy. Bridges is a better player than Randle, despite the higher scoring numbers from Julius. Randle is the type of player whose style demands to be the lead option, but he's simply not good enough to be. Will he be okay being the 3rd option? New York's next best move is to ship Randle off to a team looking for a semi-star, getting a wily veteran and a couple more pieces to fill out the fringes. They can only keep so many guys before they become really limited in the moves they can make mid-season. Trading Randle out is the best financial move and the best basketball move. So where does he go? Let us know in the comments. But more importantly, are they a legit title contender as currently constructed?
If your best player is small, you're not winning. John Stockton, Allen Iverson, Steve Nash, you could go down the list.
The last truly small point guard to be the best player on a title team was Isaiah Thomas. Now, Steph Curry is 6'3" and lanky, definitely not an undersized point guard the way Brunson is. Thomas had the luxury of playing on a big team, so even if he was small, the team was not. Should the Knicks follow that path and get bigger? Should they trade out of the Randle contract for someone like Jarrett Allen? Or would that just not work in today's style of play? Bridges turns the Knicks into the second best team in the East. The Bucks lost their entire defensive identity with the Dame trade, and he's only getting older. Jimmy's probably out in Miami, and even if he's not, the Knicks probably passed him at this point anyway. The Pacers only beat the Knicks because New York ran out of gas, and Mikal Bridges gives them that extra juice. The Villanova boys are back together, fighting for contention with grit, defense, and yes, great chemistry. Are they better than the Celtics? No. But we've seen it before, a player giving a team a chance, and a few things go the right way. Just look at the Raptors in 2019. Above all, this is what every NBA fan wanted after the DiVincenzo signing last year. The Knicks fighting off the NBA Giants with the power of friendship. Was the Bridges trade a good move for the Knicks, or did they just mortgage their future for nothing? Is Randle going to stay in New York, or will he figure out how to be the third guy? Let us know in the comments, then watch one of these videos next. Listen to The Wrong Opinion, useless NBA trivia, and garbage rankings for more NBA content.